What up guys? Today I want to talk about another high value item for its price point, and that is Goon Tape. This is something I've been using now for I think roughly year and a half, I think. I found it randomly because they take really cool pictures with like ski masks and shit like that, and I was like, oh, that's pretty dope. But I found out they actually sell this stuff. Not gonna lie, I've seen a bunch of hype beasts, influencers running it, and I was like, oh, I want to try it. Well, I would say that this is one of the things that I've seen, in the trends that's actually worth a high value. That's not just, shilling. This is actually a really, really good value. So I wanted to talk about it. Not going to spend a lot of time, but I do think that this is something that people should utilize. Everybody I personally know that has used Goon Tape has only had good experiences with it. Essentially, it's comparable to hockey tape. Let me see if I can focus that. I'm not going to say it's hockey tape. I don't know how they make it, but I have used other athletic tapes and things like that because I do a lot of different athletic activities. And this is the heaviest duty out of all of them. Again, I'm not really going to compare it to that stuff, but it is something like that if you wanted to know exactly what to expect when getting it. This particular one I think is their rifle width. So I don't know if you could see in comparison to my finger how wide it is. This is the rifle width. They have one that's like half the width for handguns. That's the one I mainly use personally. You can use this on anything. People like it on handguards. I use it on my AR pistol grip. I use it on all my pistols and also knives. People have used it on like hatchets, things like that. As far as the price point, I believe it's $10-ish for one roll. Everybody has, let's even call it 15 bucks. Everybody has that. So in terms of upgrades, maybe this doesn't seem like this is like some massive upgrade, but for me, when I first started shooting, all I knew was indoor ranges, because that's what most people know. Like when they get their first handgun or whatever, they go to indoor ranges because indoor ranges they seem the most safe and the most organized, right? And you're shooting like one round every 2 minutes, whatever, right? I live in California most of the time, and it gets really hot where I'm at in indoor ranges, so sweaty hands are a thing. So I started looking into stippling and things like that, not just because it looks good or it's Gucci, but because when you get sweaty hands, your grip starts to, have to get fixed, and it rotates and things like that, right? So my point is, this is cleared, by the way, if you can't see by my eyes. Anyway, this is my main piece that I do most of my training with. This is using Goon Tape. This is the second wrap that I put on it. The first wrap was black. This is their gray color. As you can tell, it gets really dirty. I've had this particular wrap for I think 4 months, and the black one underneath it got really gummy. But anyway, like I was saying, when you're gripping and it's really sweaty and hot, and it's like it's really like humid inside of indoor ranges, if you live in that type of area like I do, you'll slowly start to slip off because things like this are smooth and the rest of the frame on this Glock is smooth, and so this helps a ton, right? So for me, I'm really glad that even though I looked into framework, into stippling and things like that, I tried this first. It helped that they were really, really nice people and supportive. Ever since I started using their product, their page has been, had open conversations with me and has never been weird or too good to talk to me or anything like that since the very beginning, since I didn't have a larger following. So anyway, my point in saying that is that customer service is really good. I know this is a really simple product, but not only is it cool, but it's very effective. I can't tell you how many times I've used Goon Tape on my handguns, and I've been in mud doing standing, kneeling, prone, doing like from a burpee position to a running position, and pressing off on the ground and then getting up and then acquiring my grip and having mud on my palms, and then basically squishing it into the Goon Tape, and it like squeezes out the backside, but the Goon Tape gripped better than all the rest of this smooth frame, which you would think is common sense, but you know what? I don't think people talk about those type of situations. I don't know if anybody's planning on being in moist, muddy terrain and then having to press off the ground like I have before, but I've experienced that and it helped. I remember in that moment thinking, damn, I can't believe I'm like pressing mud into my Glock, but I'm sure glad I have Goon Tape, because really the only places that felt like I had solid traction, solid purchase was the areas with Goon Tape, right? Again, really good bang for your buck. That same, this is the frame actually that I did that with the black underneath it, and it basically just looked like there was some sand after it dried up, but didn't affect it at all for like the following days. And I don't know, am I gonna say that Goon Tape is the end all be all for like helping get good purchase and good grip on your handgun? No, but I don't think there's enough people who talk about your best value and the best way to spend your money with firearms training. Usually people are trying to sell you stuff and they want to get the most money out of you, instead of actually trying to help people and say, hey, like, you should probably worry about better, higher quality training, getting as many rounds downrange at the highest quality as you can, as often as you can for your average person, rather than saying, you know, let's build a super Gucci Glock with that same money, or whatever you're into, 2011s, it doesn't matter. Point is, this is one of the few items that I truly believe is adding value to our community, to the performance of everybody, and it's, if you actually shoot, then you understand that this actually has value. And if you're somebody like me who doesn't really care to send their frame out for 2 to 4 months at a time to get frame work, and then hope that your hands and your grip respond really well to how this new framework is, because in most cases you don't get to test these frames. In most cases you see really cool patterns, you're like, I want that, and either it looks cool and it shoots great, or it looks cool and you're like, I don't really like how it feels, but I'm gonna deal with it because I just spent $600 on framework, and that's kind of the going rate, anywhere between $250 and $700 for framework. So when you see these really cool framework, you know, pictures on Instagram and stuff like that, unless they're buddies or being paid by the framework person, that took them 2 to 4 months to get that framework, and that person probably didn't know what they were in for until they got the frame. So anyways, framework, ultimately, if you work with the right person and you know what you want, is gonna be better than Goon Tape. It is what it is. But we're talking again, $600-700 for the framework that I've received on my favorite frame for stippling. You know, $600-700 for that, and a 3-month wait time ish, versus 2 weeks or less. I'm gonna say a week because that's what they've always sent me in mine, but I'm just, you know, a week for some Goon Tape as long as it's in stock. And I put this on everything and it helps. Literally the only thing that Goon Tape does not do that stippling does for the most part is have this little undercut, but getting framework to get this undercut to fix Glock knuckle, if I can't, there you go, to fix Glock knuckle is way cheaper than the entire frame. Now I'm not gonna lie, there are benefits to framework, right? So this is the Gunco Train with Purpose G19, and the framework on this is beautiful, right? So it's clear. I know everybody fucking cares about that. So the framework on this thing is beautiful, right? I get a really nice purchase for my thumb right there. It's got a nice little smooth undercut right here. I get really good grip right here. It's pretty for Instagram pictures, all that good stuff. But ultimately, framework like this, just by itself, like I said, it costs anywhere between $250 and $700, and a wait period. When we build these Gunco guns, when Gunco sends out all these builds, the thing that we're always waiting on is the frame to get done. It's not the slide, it's not the barrel, it's not the back plate, it's not the trigger, it's always the frame. Because these are hand done, and if they're laser engraved, they're not as good as hand done or handmade stippling jobs, right? People want people to do stippling, you know, by hand. It's just better. It just is. It looks better and it actually functions better. So my point is, like, it's just a pain in the ass to do framework. It is what it is. Here's another example. This is my favorite framework job that I've ever had done. This is by Rocket City Stippling. Again, super cool dude. I personally think this is the best in the biz right here, this guy. Let me see if you can see that. Rocket City Stippling. Is that focused? Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so he's got like the little undercut. He's got the accelerator ramp. Right, I get a really good grip, really good purchase on this. The tang is at a really good position with all the grip, high up. This is outstanding, and honestly, I love looking at this thing. This is a piece of art. Still took me about, 8 weeks to get this, even though the guy was really cool with me and he was like, I'm gonna fast track you. That doesn't matter, it still took 8 weeks and this still cost me $650. Best in the biz, but that's what you're dealing with anybody who's doing framework. It doesn't matter who it is, it's just the nature of the game. So that's basically why I'm saying, long story short, that Goon Tape is, in most cases, not the prettiest, but it is the most functional. If we're talking about functional upgrades here, if I were to tell people what's the first upgrade you get to your Glock, it's Goon Tape. I really can't think of anything else. Like with a Glock, you can do like the extended mag release. That helps. Maybe sights if you have the cheap plastic sights, but I mean, honestly, all you need is a Glock with sights that are gonna hold up and some Goon Tape and you should be good to go. So they don't sponsor me, they don't sponsor this video. Yeah, they've been really cool to me. I've ordered from them a couple times, and they sent me some extra stuff just because I'm a longtime supporter of them now. But that doesn't change the fact that I'd always pay full price to get Goon Tape. So check it out if you haven't already. And this is going to be one of many videos that I put out on this channel. So if you can like and subscribe, please do that. It helps out a ton. I'm trying to add as much value as I can to this community, and liking and subscribing and things like that, and checking out my website, trainwithpurpose.co. All that stuff helps. So, catch you guys later.